You guys don't know, but today has been stressful as fuck for me. So I really wanted to take a load off for me. See some Kubo and the Two Strings.
Usually he just does that by jerking off, so I think this is an upgrade.
I haven't had an opportunity to jerk off today. Literally, I went from work to take my ugly sister to the fucking dentist, and I got to see them drill holes, so nothing was sexual about that to get me aroused. Then I had to go to school.
Well, it's your sister. You shouldn't be getting aroused anyways.
I'm
laying down that scunion.
Yeah, we're both sexually aroused by his sister.
Nice.
Anyways, Kubo and the Two Strings.
Man, as much as I love Pixar,
I think we can all mutually agree that Pixar is an animation giant and has every right to be.
I think, unpopular opinion, but I'm really hoping Laika gives Pixar a run for their money like Disney Animation has, because Zootopia this year has been one of the best animated movies I've ever seen, and Finding Dory really wasn't.
I agree to disagree, but I really enjoyed it, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah,
animation was great. It wasn't.
It was just not necessary, and I think they were just hoping that it would get sales.
Which it did.
Yeah, Pixar's not at their peak anymore, and Laika has made some phenomenal work. Coraline is one of my favorite animated movies of all time. I think it's one of the best animated movies ever made. And I love stop motion animation.
And Coraline is the only reference I have going into this, because I've seen bits and pieces of that movie, but that's the only familiarity I have with this studio. So
I think Laika also did Paranorman.
I don't think I've seen that one either.
That one was pretty great. Like, it was really fun. And I thought I wouldn't like it, but it was great. And then one of the forgettable ones was like War Toads or something, or like Trolls or something.
Yeah.
Box Trolls, I think. I didn't care for it, and I totally forgot about it.
Or there's the gaming legend known as Battletoads.
Okay, but I've heard this movie is very good.
I have too. I had a friend tell me it was a very cute movie, a very entertaining movie, so I'm looking forward to it.
It should be an emotional movie.
It looks like a really incredible adventure movie.
It hasn't grossed a lot at the box office, but all the reviews have been very good about it.
Yeah, and that's just the thing about Laika. Like, they make these amazing quality movies, and they just don't make enough money.
They don't market them as thoroughly as other companies do. They just don't have the funds to market it as well.
Yeah, so we're gonna go check this movie out and tell you our honest opinion about it, and I'm fingers crossed, because there's not been much in terms of animated movies this year. I think Zootopia is easily the best,
but we gotta rush in now.
Yeah, because
we're running late.
As always.
So that was a pretty good movie, to say the least.
No, it is worth, the 2 hours from previews till now.
We didn't really watch any previews because of how long it took us to get here, but
came in right at the end of the previews.
Before I start talking about this movie, I do want to kind of reflect on all the animated movies this year that I've seen. The first one, because I haven't seen them all. I haven't seen Ice Age, the newest Ice Age one.
Yeah, I heard you're not missing out on much there.
Just why, it's gonna be bad. Just some movies you don't even need to see to know you're gonna hate it.
Let's be clear here. The first two Ice Ages were really good movies.
Yeah, but
but they've jumped the shark.
Yeah. I haven't seen Kung Fu Panda 3, and I heard that one's not bad, but, I had my...
Jack Black is better than people give him credit for.
I had my sights on some other movies.
Yeah, he's slowly going down.
But...
He's just back on an uphill curve, though.
I think those are the only two this year that I have not seen, so I can't really compare them, so... Worst movie I've ever seen in theaters, or animated movie I've seen in theaters, was Norm of the North back in January. I regret taking my nephew to see it.
I never even heard of that movie. So.
It's like Rob Schneider's a fucking polar bear. It's so terrible.
Well, that's the problem. It's Rob Schneider.
No, I let him pick the movie, and he just totally fucking chose the wrong movie. And then after that was Zootopia, which I thought so far has been the best animated movie of 2016. Before seeing this, this is all before Kubo and the Two Strings. This is just my reflection on animated movies of 2016. So after Zootopia, I believe it was Ratchet and Clank, and I really didn't like it that much. I thought it was...
You play the game, you get the same story, but with more content.
Yeah, it just didn't do the game justice, I thought. And really it was kind of boring. And how do you make a sci-fi adventure?
It was a supplement to the game that was the same plot as the game with less meat.
Yeah, it was just it was
More
so
money grab.
it was so underdeveloped, and I didn't even know it was like being made until I saw it, like that it was playing in theaters.
And that was like when you and I went. I think that was when you and I went to go see Civil War that we realized that.
Yeah,
was
I'm like,
on.
oh shit, Ratchet and Clank's in theaters. There's a Ratchet and Clank movie, so I mean that was just poor advertising and poor filmmaking.
Absolutely.
Not anywhere close to the level of shit of Norm of the North, but it was the second worst of 2016. After that, it was either Finding Dory. No, it was the Angry Birds movie.
Oh,
Was that any good?
It was like as good as an Angry Birds movie could get.
Yeah. It was,
So it was mediocre.
It was.
It
yeah,
was more a comedy, and it was the storyline was kind of messed up, especially towards the end.
Yeah,
It
it
just kind
was-
of went.
Well, I mean, like I've heard, like
The
I
backstory was 75%.
I'm a definite superhero movie guy. I will go and see an animated movie gladly, but I'm more of a superhero movie guy. I'm more of an action movie guy. You know, Jason Bourne was a great movie that I saw this year.
Yeah, that was pretty good movie.
I kind of count Star Wars because of how late it was last year. I kind of count it as it could count as this year because it was still playing this year. Obviously, all the superhero movies that have come out this year, I've seen every single one of them at least, except for Suicide Squad, at least twice.
So after Angry Birds movie, which was just the epitome of mediocre animation, was Finding Dory. And I really thought Finding Dory would be the best animated movie for me of 2016.
It was great.
Nostalgia.
It was great, but it
That's how it
wasn't
was
where it
for.
could have been.
Because there's a specific reason why I didn't do a review on it, because I knew I'd piss a lot of people off, you know, with my honest opinion about it. But like, I had to see it with my dad, and I didn't want my dad, you know, to do a review with me because he'd be terrible at it. But
It was like I thought it wasn't bad. Excuse me, but it didn't live up to Finding Nemo. It wasn't on the same
yeah.
tier.
It-
as
I mean,
it.
from an animation standpoint, it was a great movie, but from a storyline, it was just the same storyline, just her
It was-
parents.
yeah, it was just so unnecessary, honestly. But like, I think the animation in that was more fluid. But him and I both agreed that it was nowhere near the level of expertise in terms of filmmaking that Finding Nemo was at, because that was our movie. That was like the first movie that him and I saw together in theaters, and it was just the perfect father-son movie. So that Finding Nemo will always have a special place in my heart, and Finding Dory really just didn't capture that magic whatsoever. So it was kind of disappointing, but I mean, it was a popcorn
And then-
flick.
What was the next one after that?
After Finding Dory,
Oh.
really was either Sausage Party.
That was great. That was a great movie.
Yeah. Well, I never saw The Little Prince on Netflix, and I mean, I wouldn't really consider that. I consider Netflix movies just in a separate category.
I had a sidebar, but it's not relevant right now. I won't go into it.
Okay. So, I mean, The Little Prince I've heard is amazing, but I mean, I haven't seen it yet, so.
I haven't seen it.
So Sausage Party.
Whew, what a movie. That was great.
What a fucking great movie. I mean, like, who would have known? That'd have been my second favorite animated movie of 2016.
Honestly, I went into it. I didn't have high hopes for it, but it was still a really good film.
Yeah, it was like surprisingly well made. It was way better than it needed to be.
I think Michael Cera should stick to animation after that. Okay, we're getting way off topic here.
Yeah, but they pumped a lot of money into that, a lot of money into advertising, a lot of money into marketing. I know a lot of breweries got Sausage Party cups to sell just for the movie.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, they put a lot of money into it.
Yeah.
Okay, and
So-
then now we're here at
Yeah, so
Kubo
for,
and the Two Strings.
for 2016, I mean, really, there's only two movies I recommend because I think they're great animated movies, and that's Zootopia, which
Yep.
is currently sitting at my number 2 spot of movies of 2016, and Sausage Party, which is, I mean, great.
What a goddamn film.
Yeah. I mean, Finding Dory, you know, is kind of like just, yeah, you're
It's
okay.
definitely worth seeing. It's definitely worth buying. But
It's a date movie.
It's nothing. It's not going to go down in history as one of the Pixar greats. But here we are at Kubo and the Two Strings.
And guys, I'm gonna be totally honest. I fucking loved this movie.
I did too.
Yeah.
It's easily one of the best movies I've ever seen in theaters.
If I were to think about it and really nitpick, I could find something wrong with it. But great voice acting, great pacing, great animation. Like, holy shit.
This movie, when it was, let's talk about how how it opens. It's just super intense, and you're immediately hooked. And
That
then
was really dramatic.
a few minutes later, I mean, it's dramatic, and you're immediately captivated. You're like, wow, is this movie going to be amazing? And the movie kind of, for a few minutes, you're like, wow, this movie is like really dark, like just lighting, like it's really dark. I hope the entire movie is not like this. Then it shows like the world in daytime, and it's just a completely
It's beautiful.
It's unreal. Like, I didn't know a stop motion animated movie could be this beautiful to look at. And this is the first animated movie, like for 2016 at least, that I can say fully shows how contrasting colors can be, you know, in terms of animation. You know, because it was this really somber tone at the beginning, you know, everything was like really dark. It felt like a Zack Snyder film, you know, with that gray color palette, and, you know, people complain that it's so lifeless. I was worried that that was going to be the whole movie. And that made, when it got colorful, more effective. Whereas movies like Zootopia, I mean, it's colorful and it's pretty, but there's not enough range in color.
No contrast.
Yeah, because it's just all colorful. This movie has so much beautiful animated contrast.
It's got its, I mean, it's pacing perfect.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the
Towards
sound.
the middle.
No, even in the middle, I was hooked.
Yeah, I mean, like, never once did I like think to myself, is this movie going to end, or what's going on?
Yeah.
No, definitely not.
I was almost sad when it ended, because I was like, oh, I have to find something else to do now.
I mean, I want the Blu-ray to this movie right now. I mean, this is by far Laika's best work, even compared to Coraline, which I thought was one of the best animated movies of all time.
I am not. I am an opponent of seeing things in the theaters in 3D. I think it's overpriced and it's gimmicky.
But you want to see this movie?
I would fucking see this movie in 3D in a heartbeat.
I don't
see
think
the
it's
shit out of this movie.
I think okay. I would not be opposed to doing a follow-up for the 3D version of this movie.
Yeah, like, because the only movie I've seen in 3D this year has been The Jungle Book, and that one was really good to see in 3D. I haven't seen anything else because I don't really like seeing it in 3D, but I can handle it.
Okay.
I want to see this movie in 3D.
Absolutely, I do. I am. If you wanted to do a follow-up review for the 3D, I would totally be down. Or like, maybe wait to post this until we can see the 3D.
Yeah. I mean, it's just so fucking beautiful, and I'm praising the visuals as much as I can because holy shit.
And really, no matter what we say about them, we're not doing it justice. Like, it is a beautiful movie.
Like, if you consider yourself a fan of animation whatsoever, I think just the way this movie looks and the style it's animated in, you know, that's worthy of a ticket alone.
You know, and
I'm not even talking about the storytelling, like the voice acting. I mean, everything in this movie is just so beyond on par.
You guys might disagree with me on this, but I think this is a better film than... Well, okay, first off, I want to say that my all-time favorite animated film is probably The Polar Express.
Definitely not for me. I think they look really creepy, unintentionally.
But even then, it tells such a great story, and aside from the faces, the visuals are really good.
Yeah.
And it's just a really cute movie, and I think this might knock The Polar Express off the top spot for me.
I mean, this might be my new favorite animated movie. It is that great. Like, I didn't think I could like this movie this much.
I didn't either. It was funny. It had its sad moments.
Yeah,
It had
and talking about, like,
powerful.
the funny...
yeah.
Like, all the emotional moments are so impactful, but, like, when there's humor, it's not, like, written as jokes. The humor is so natural in this movie.
Like, and sometimes it is written as jokes, but you can't begrudge them for writing it as jokes because it's perfect.
Because, like, one of the characters of the
Dark
Beetle...
humor, too.
I mean, there's a little bit of dark humor in it, too, which I'm always a fan of, like, especially with, like, Deadpool. But the Beetle character... You know, he makes a really lame pun, and that's part of like the joke. But like, what
But
makes the
it's
joke
hilarious.
funny?
But you
is
hear the
reaction
pun.
from
They heard the pun, and then they heard me dying because I am a huge fan of puns.
Well, what made the joke funny was that the other characters reacted to it and said, "Oh my god!" You know?
Yeah.
You know, that's what made it funny, and it was so natural. Like, I have to praise the writing in this movie. That all the messages in this movie, like about being blind to humanity. Like, there's not going to be any spoilers because if you truly take to heart what we say, I mean, you're going to buy tickets up your ass.
You are
see
going
this
to
movie.
buy tickets on Fandango right the fuck now, and then drive to the theater and go see this movie.
This one right here.
Yeah, I mean, I want to
Well, it's a
spend
bit of a trip
$40. I want to spend $40 at the State Museum to see this movie. It's that fucking amazing.
Is it really that much at the State Museum?
Well, I mean, that's like the only IMAX theater in Indiana. That's like
full range.
yeah,
IMAX,
because
yeah.
our movie theater here is an IMAX theater, but it's like the IMAX brand. Like, there's one that Tarek and I saw Batman vs Superman at. That's like the definitive IMAX screen.
Mhm.
But
Definitely a view again. By far a view again. This is.
Yeah.
You know, from the person who has the least relationship experience here, I don't know if this is saying much, but this is a date movie. This really is. This is a great date movie. This is something to take someone on and to be like, here, let's go see a really... Because it's a cute movie. It has its more serious moments, but it's a cute movie. The ending is really cute. And there's something for everybody here. You know, I was saying earlier, a movie like the BFG, you know, that was very directed towards kids. It was very lighthearted, didn't have a lot of darkness in it. And even the parts where, you know, something could happen, you knew nothing bad was going to happen. Here, it was very suspenseful. It's, you know, it's got something for the little kids. It's got something for, you know, the tweens. It's got something for the teens, for the adults, for everybody. You know, and it's, I can't stress enough how much I enjoyed this movie.
yeah, another thing I really appreciated with this movie, it told an adventure.
Oh yeah.
Because I haven't seen an animated movie yet that's really had an adventure. Because all of it's been like, oh, a rabbit's going to a city. You know, the city is, you know, like a human society. You know, all these gimmicks of animals. And, like, it was really well made. But there wasn't any sense of, like, purpose or thesis to it, you know? This movie has, like, all the location points, but it also takes the time to build the world and the journey between these points, like A, B, C, and D. And it's really fun to follow along these characters on their adventure. And
Yeah.
I totally miss that in an animated movie. And I don't
Character
think,
development is a big thing in this movie.
yeah,
I don't know.
think
The
we get that.
backstory wasn't enough for me.
It wasn't enough for you?
Yeah, especially it jumped into the mom in a catatonic state and didn't explain any of it.
Yeah. I mean, you
I
can
mean,
argue
it did. It did at some point. Like it didn't explain it outright, but you could pick up from the context clues of what they were talking about.
Because that was something I did think about. I'm like, are little kids going to be able to follow this movie? Because there's a lot of, like, scenes that kind of happen, like, you know, twists happen that, I mean, we all kind of saw coming. Because the movie takes the time to, like, you know, explain a certain character's backstory and then reoccur it. But I don't know if little kids are going to be able to keep up with this movie. And I don't think that's a problem with the character development. I just think that falls on an audience member to really try and pay attention.
That being said, though, this was a smart movie. You know, this is a movie that you go into it and you have to watch it. You know, you have to actually watch it, not... You have to see the movie, not just watch it, is what I'm trying to say. Like, I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who do you think did the best voice acting in the whole movie?
Oh man, props to the kid. Like,
Yeah.
You know, and I was watching. I still remember this line from Angry Joe's Star Wars review, and he said, "I don't know if these people are just more talented coming in, or if acting is easier, but these younger and up and coming actors, holy shit!"
yeah, I mean, you have kids now that can carry beautiful films, like, you know, The Jungle Book, BFG,
this
Kubo
movie.
with the Two Strings. Like, kids are finally getting prominent roles, and that makes me so fucking happy.
And the you know, and it's hard to single out any one voice actor on top of that. Like, yes, the kid was great, but Charlize Theron was great as the monkey. Matthew McConaughey was great as the beetle. The old lady, oh my god.
Yeah, the old lady was bomb.
Everyone in this movie is just so goddamn likable.
Like
even the villains, like the villains are creepy as all hell, but you
Yep.
can't help but be like, wow,
Creepy as shit.
that's really cool. Because I love, like, you know, the Japanese, you know, style in this movie, and how all the characters, you know, resemble like traditional
And
Japanese.
again, the soundtrack was
Orient.
beautiful.
Oh yeah, and the intense moments, like, I want to buy the soundtrack to this movie because there are moments that are just gorgeous and peaceful to listen to, and then there are moments that your heart is pounding, you're on the edge of your seat.
You know,
I was shaking.
I was actually on the edge of my seat because I was so invested in it in the beginning when Kubo was doing the storytelling, without spoiling anything, but he's storytelling, and I'm sitting there because it's just so beautifully done. Like, even if I were to tell you what was going on, I couldn't do it justice because it's so beautifully done. I mean, I cannot stress that enough. This is a beautiful film.
I will say though, like, the way that the two strings work is very, very imaginative and very creative, and I don't think I've seen that.
Yeah, I did not understand how it would tie in until the very end.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, why is it with the two string? Like, I was sitting
There's
there.
2 strings and 3 slots.
Yeah, and then I sat there the entire time and I was like, oh my god, that was great.
Yeah, but even like, you know, like at the beginning, you know, when he's playing the instrument, just the way he's telling like stories and stuff is so creative, and I don't think I've seen something like that in an animated movie.
And it's stop
It's very
motion
fluid,
much
too.
less. Yeah.
Very, very fluid.
Yeah, and like, there's a ton of paper in this movie. I don't think I've ever seen a movie where paper just looked gorgeous. Like, there's so many callbacks, or not callbacks, but like references I feel like I can see to other animated movies. Like, especially the one I can think of prominently is from Tangled, where they're holding their lanterns up and they're like floating.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that beautiful moment is this entire movie. Which is why I have no problem giving Kubo and the Two Strings a goddamn 10 out of 10.
I would agree. And not quite. I'd give it a 9.
I'd probably give it a 9 or a 9.5.
Okay, I don't do decimals, so 9 plus 9 plus 10 is going to be 28 divided by 3.
Yeah, probably like 13.33 or something like that. 13
How
and a
does that make
third.
sense?
That,
It's like
not.
8.
Or no.
No,
it's going
not
to be
quite
between
8.
9 and
7.
10.
I'm tired, guys. 9.33.
Alright, so with that was the same one as Jungle Book. So with a consensus of 9.3 repeating out of 10, Kubo and the Two Strings is, a matter of fact, a fucking blowjob from God! With that being said, I'm the Psychedelic Mystic, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace.